Evening, Tallahassee. I hope you all had a happy Monday. I am student meteorologist Melanie Steinberg.
And I'm student meteorologist Donovan Wiseman. Melanie, we have a lot of great news to report today. To start off with, for anyone interested in astronomy, meteorology, if you like looking up at the sky, this coming Wednesday we're going to have a lunar eclipse. Here in Tallahassee, we're actually going to have a great view of that, so something to look forward to right there.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're going to have to wake up kind of early. It's expected to happen a little after 5:15 in the morning, so if you're an early riser, then keep an eye out for that lunar eclipse.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that happens very rarely. Actually, the fourth one is September 28th, 2015, so you have to wait another year if you're trying to look at a lunar eclipse. I'm personally going to get up and look at it. I've never seen one before.
Really? Well, it's sometimes called a blood moon just because of how red it gets.
Right.
So it's really interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. Something that if you're up, if you have early classes, get up a little bit early, go check that out because they do only happen rarely. So a little bit more. We should have a clear view here on campus if you live on campus. Go out, maybe on a parking garage, get up there, set up shop, and take a look at that. That'd be fun.
It would be fun. And basically, the reason why it turns red is because the moon and the sun and the earth are all aligned. And as it gets progressively later or earlier into the morning, the moon is going to get progressively redder as well.
Exactly. Well, that's exciting news. We have a lot of great stuff going on this week other than the lunar eclipse. But first, we're going to send it out to Shane for an overview of what's happening in the country.
Thanks, guys. We do have a lot of awesome stuff going on right now, chiefly the weather. Hope you like sunny skies because we have lots of them this week, and the temperatures will be increasing slowly up from those rather chilly temperatures we saw this weekend. But what we call high pressure is a big bubble of no trouble for this part of the country. Let me step out of the way so you can see where the action is happening. The action right now is this cold front that's moving eastward across the country. And it's really not going to affect us, don't worry, but we'll give you a full breakdown of that in a few minutes. For right now, though, that bubble of no trouble persists. We've only got a few clouds moving in from the south, but they're not giving us any precipitation. As for tonight, we're going to see a low of 52 degrees, not as chilly as those rather almost frigid nights we saw a few nights ago, but it's going to be calm and clear. And as for tomorrow, well, stay tuned to find out exactly how high the temperature is going to be and what % of precipitation we're forecasting. But all in all, it's going to be another fantastic day. Let's hand it back to the desk.
Thanks, Shane. We appreciate that. Let's talk a little bit about weather history, Melanie. In 1984, on this day in Honolulu, Hawaii, temperatures reached 94, making it the all-time record for their high in October. That's really hot for October.
Exactly. It's really hot for October. And there was also another record set in Saudi Arabia, which was at 109. That was the record for their October.
Oh my gosh, that's just sweltering hot. We're out of that. We do have some good news coming up. Let's talk about 1836. In the Northeast, we had an early snowstorm in New York. That's really early for October 6th. Yeah. We don't want it to snow that early.
No, actually, no, we don't. And they saw 26 inches of snow, so it's a lot of snow, especially for this time of the year.
Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely. Well, luckily, we don't have to worry about that. We actually have a lot of great weather coming up over the next week, and we're going to take a look at Doak right here. This is a good look at our football stadium where our Seminoles won this weekend, stomping those Wake Forest Demon Deacons. And here's the numbers for October 1st. This is what we saw today. Our high for today was 78 degrees. We had a low of 47 this morning. Average for today is about 84. It's a little bit cooler, but it does make for more comfortable conditions, so it's actually really good news for today. Here's our current temperatures in the region. Here in Tallahassee, we're at 76. In Quincy, 77. Up there in South Georgia, up there, they're in darker red. They're about 81 degrees. 76 down in St. Mark's. Basically all the same across the coastline. Now here's our water vapor that we're looking at. All this green indicates moisture. We don't have a lot to worry about as far as rain and showers are concerned. A lot of good news for our region. A lot going up north that's not so great. Satellite and radar, you can see a lot of activity over towards the west. It's going to be up in Kentucky. That's where they're really getting some bad stuff. The big picture for Monday today was a lot of sunshine. You see our guy down there with his Ray-Bans on. That's cool. We got some high pressure out here off the Atlantic. A lot of sunshine moving in, a lot of good things to report. Unfortunately, not a lot of events going on this week in Tallahassee, but it is a good time to get outside, hang out, go do IM sports. That's going on right now. It's really good conditions for that. We are warming. You see this cold front up here. We said in Kentucky, they're seeing a lot of that. Tennessee, Arkansas. But down here, it's not really reaching us. We're going to continue warming actually all week. So it's going to be dry here in Tallahassee, throughout South Georgia and across the Gulf. Got that cold blast up here in the central part of the country, central southeast. Too bad for them. Good for us. We got some great weather. Now, let's take a look at our beach forecast for Thursday. We got winds south to southeast, 5 to 10 knots. That surf is about 1 foot. Water temperature, 82 degrees. A lot of good news there. The only problem is this UV index is at 11. That's extreme. Definitely put on some of that SPF 50. It's going to be pretty hot out there. You don't want to get sunburned. You don't need that while you're sitting in class. Tonight's forecast is going to be really nice actually tonight. I would suggest some long sleeves, long pants. Get out there and enjoy it though. Go out, have some fun tonight. If you don't have to study, you see down towards the coast, they're seeing 50s. South Georgia, much of the same as what we're seeing here in Tallahassee. Now for tomorrow's forecast, we got 87 here in Tallahassee, very warm. That feels like summer temperatures. That's gonna be a great day. Our neighbors in Quincy are at 88, a little bit cooler up in Bainbridge and Thomasville and Valdosta. They're not part of the Sunshine State. I guess they're not getting as much as us. Not getting as good at temperatures as we are. Now let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. You can see we're getting back up into the upper 80s. Going to be very nice. Low 60s, mid 60s throughout the weeks for our lows. A lot of good news here in Tallahassee. Looking forward to the next 7 days.
Yes, we are actually very much looking forward to the next 7 days. We're going to be seeing really our temperatures just warming up. And taking a look currently, we're sitting at 73 in Tallahassee, 82 in Montgomery, it's 79 over in Little Rock. So basically much of the southeast is seeing the same conditions. And taking a look at our winds, we have a very light winds of 6 coming out of the southeast. And now you can tell by the counterclockwise rotations of the wind where the high pressure is located. It's located right over here off the coast of Florida and Georgia. So that just high pressure is just causing our winds to have a counterclockwise rotation. And then taking a look at our water vapor, all this green is the moistures. Now that affected us earlier today, but that cleared out and we're going to be seeing much drier air. And then up to the mid parts of the state, where around Little Rock, Kentucky, they're actually seeing a lot of severe weather right now with the rainstorms, which we will get into later. But now, as we put the rainfall into motion, you can see a lot of areas to the northwest of us was getting some rain. But looking at tonight, we're supposed to be hitting a 53 in Tallahassee, 57 in Montgomery, 70 in New Orleans. So we're still seeing those cool temperatures. It's not as cool as it was this past weekend, unfortunately, and the trend for that is going to be changing. Our temperatures are going to be rising. Tomorrow is going to be much like today. We're going to be seeing 87 in Tallahassee, 87 in Montgomery. It's going to be 93 over in Shreveport. So much around the southeast, it's going to be a lot warmer, and we're going to be seeing those high 80s, and it's going to be much like today. It's going to be sunny, it's going to be warm, the air is going to be drier. So I'm sorry if you like those fall temperatures, but those will be away for the week. But now we're back at the desk.
We're back at the desk. Yeah, that's right. It is technically fall right now, but we're not seeing those. I really do like it. I like the upper 80s. It kind of makes me miss summer.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're getting a little taste of that again. But let's talk about some not so great news. Outside of our region, over there in Japan, we got a typhoon expected to gain strength across the Western Pacific here soon, actually, right?
Yeah, they actually just had a typhoon, and now there's another one coming. This one is called Vong Fong, and it's actually supposed to be turning into a super typhoon. Now, a super typhoon compared to the hurricane scale is about a category for hurricane.
Oh my gosh, that's very bad news. We're definitely keeping them in our thoughts. We hope that doesn't get too awful bad. Yeah, like you said, it's supposed to be a super typhoon. I've actually never even heard of that. Can you go into more detail about maybe what that is? You said category 4 hurricane?
Yeah, it's a category 4 hurricane. So the winds are going to be around 150 miles per hour, and there's going to be a lot of rain. So you just got to take the proper precautions for that.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be very rough. Like you said, they were just recovering from another typhoon, so just bad news over there in Japan. Luckily, we've got a lot of good stuff going on in the southeast, in our region, and nationally, isn't that right?
Yeah, nationally, like we were talking about earlier, they're having the severe weather up in Kentucky with all those severe storms, but thankfully that will not be reaching our region.
That's right, yeah. We also keeping those people in Kentucky in our thoughts. It shouldn't be too bad, though. And for a little more information, throughout Kentucky and Arkansas, they're going to see a lot of rainfall with that cold front moving in. It's going to be colder. It's going to feel like fall. And we're actually going to send it out to Shane right now to give us more news about what's going on nationally.
Thanks, guys. Speaking of Kentucky, that's actually where the heat of the action is right now. We've got a few severe thunderstorm warnings spotting the southeast. For instance, we've got one here that is in southern Kentucky. That is for, let me get out of the way, that's for Barron County. We've also got one now in north central Alabama. That one is for Cullman County and expires in about half an hour from this time. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that, and if severe conditions erupt, we'll let you know. Here's the culprit behind those severe warnings, however, that cold front that is pushing across the deep south of the United States, and it's not going to bring us any cool down or relief here in Tallahassee, but it is definitely making waves, so to speak. It's draped from Detroit, reaching all the way down past New Orleans into Texas and ultimately into the Gulf of Mexico. And it's going to continue to press eastward and affect the temperatures across the whole country. Check out these color patterns on the map right now. From 85 in Dallas in those deep shades of red, we jump up to Detroit, a full 30 degrees cooler there, and they're in the green shades here on the map. We see similar variety across the country from 91 degrees down there in Phoenix to 62 in Boston. So that cold front is definitely making itself known, cooling off the north and leaving the south, especially the southwest, to roast in the heat. But for right now, let's focus in on what's going on in Tallahassee. No rain to speak of, but we did notice around mid-afternoon these clouds pushing in from the coast. And they're just being driven by that cold front mechanism, but they're not precipitous clouds, that is to say, they're not going to be bringing us any rain. Anyway, moving eastward, or westward, so to speak, we've got this rain that's been drenching southern Arkansas into Mississippi and even down into southern Louisiana. And those storms have been dying off for the most part, but some are flaring back up, as we saw on the watches and warnings map. Here's those storms that are really giving a headache to the southeast right now. We've got those ones that are giving severe thunderstorm warnings to the Kentucky region, as well as that spotty shower that is bringing a severe thunderstorm to the Cullman region in central Alabama. But shifting our gaze further northward, we've got a different kind where you saw that snow there in Canada. That's quite a change, and we are getting into the winter months, so it's something that we aren't quite so shocked to see. But having just gotten done with summer a few weeks ago, it is a bit of a surprise. Airport conditions are looking good across the whole country, and as for tonight's forecast, that cold front is really going to drop down those temperatures in Minneapolis to 42 degrees, 46 in Billings, and ahead of the front, 70 in New Orleans and 75 in Miami. As for how high the temperature is going to climb tomorrow, we're looking at nearly 90 degrees, 87 in Tallahassee, cooler 64 in Detroit, and 88 degrees in Phoenix. And now for a more extended look back home, we're going to hand it off to Braden for the local.
Thank you very much, Shane. And before I get started, I just wanted to give a wonderful happy birthday to my mother. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here today at Florida State University working in weathercasting. So I love you, Mom. I hope you're watching, and happy birthday. Now, let's talk about a nice sneak peek into the work week, shall we? Check out your headlines. I hope you like sunny skies, because that is the prescription for the rest of the week. Temperatures will start increasing slowly, so we're not going to get those mid to upper 40s for the lows anymore, but it's still going to be pretty nice. But yeah, into the next week, really just a big bubble of no trouble with that sneak peek Tuesday into Wednesday. Lower 50s on Tuesday, going to lower 60s on Wednesdays for your low, looking mid to upper 80s for your highs on both days. Checking out what's going on right now. Good evening, Tallahassee. You are sitting at 73 degrees, 77 in Monticello, Thomasville as well. Warmest spot actually further north, Bainbridge, 79 degrees. Pretty nice up there. Really showing this counterclockwise rotation on the winds from that high pressure right off our coast. So you're going to see the high pressure right back there. But that counterclockwise rotation really bringing it in. The onshore flow bringing us clouds, but don't worry, those clouds aren't going to cause any rain showers, and that is a great thing to hear. Winds, not too light, but you know, it's not bad. So satellite and radar really into the southeast, clouds building over the Gulf of Mexico, making their way into Tallahassee. Donovan showed you that look outside of Doak, and it was pretty nice, but rain again, severe thunderstorm in Alabama, into Kentucky as well. New Orleans also saw a little rain, over the afternoon, but it is starting to fade out for them as well. Big picture, sun is really happy to be out this week after we had that rainy summer, but high pressure really in control, steering our flow. As we put this into motion, that high pressure is going to drift off to the northeast. This cold front is going to drift further down, and overall we're going to be warming, which is awesome. Because, you know, I don't like the cool temperatures that much, so I would love have a nice little middle ground, 50s, 60s, maybe low to mid 80s for your high. That's how I like it. So we have this cold front. It's going to dip further south, and you might think, you know, it's coming to us. No more rain. Braden, say it ain't so. Well, I will tell you, it ain't so. That cold front is not going to dip any further south. It's really just going to get stationary right along Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi and begin to dissipate. Behind it, though, a pretty nice cold blast. High pressure will remain in control, and we will continue to have dry conditions. 52 for tonight, not as cool, but calm and clear. Call it a night outdoors. Loving that temperature. And tomorrow, 89. It's going to be warming up quickly. Another fantastic day. I hope you have those outdoor plans ready because the weather is going to be ready for you. And as we step out and see what the rest of the week looks like, first let's check out your weather wear. Tomorrow morning, cool, warming at lunch, so shed that jacket, and then cooling back down for dinner, so you might need that jacket again, but over the next 7 days, it's going to be beautiful, so let's talk about it. Rebecca, Shane, what do we got?
Thanks very much, Braden. Well, before it gets beautiful, we do have some severe weather to speak of. Where is that weather right now, Becca?
That weather right now is ranging from the deep south all the way up to the Ohio Valley.
Yes, and this is a direct result of the cold front that's crossing the country right now, and it is associated with a powerful dip in the jet stream. So that's responsible for all those sharp temperature contrasts we saw.
Exactly, and that's perfect fuel for these storms that we're seeing. We can see that in Kentucky, they actually have a severe thunderstorm warning going on right now.
Yes, and I've also got a report straight in from Huntsville, Alabama from my dad that they were experiencing light to moderate rainfall over the last hour and are experiencing thunder and lightning at the moment. So this is good proof that while those storms have been dying off over the majority of the day, they are flaring back up right now. And those folks in Alabama and Kentucky are poignantly aware of that.
That's good. Your dad got lucky because some of the places are calling for hail.
Oh yeah, that would be dangerous. I hope that those car dealerships back home don't get affected by the hail.
Oh gosh, hail does not work out for cars. I have so many dings in like my car from when I lived in Texas. Hail is crazy.
Yes, but for right now, we're going to bring it back to the Sunshine State with Melanie.
Thank you, Shane. Yeah, today we certainly lived up to our name in the Sunshine State. Currently, we're sitting at 73 in Tallahassee. It's 77 in Pensacola, 84 down in Fort Myers. So today, the Sunshine State really did. We saw a lot of sun. There was a lot of sun. Our temperatures are picking back up, and that trend is going to be continuing for the next week. Now, taking a look at our winds, we can see the clear rotation of the wind. Like we're sitting at 6 miles per hour. Winds are coming out of the southeast, and there's a high pressure system sitting off the coast, and that's why the winds are the way they are. And then taking a look at our satellite and radar, here's that band of storms, and that's where Kentucky is getting their severe rain that Shane and Rebecca had talked about. But taking it back home, there's not much around our area, just all that cloud cover is in our area. And our air is very dry, so we're sitting at 43% humidity. So the humidity is not super bad, but because the sun was out and shining its full force today, it was super hot outside. It felt much warmer than it actually was. And then again, taking a look at our satellite and radar, there's nothing really at all affecting the Sunshine State. There's just a bunch of clouds, a bunch of cloud cover that's going to be affecting us tonight. But tomorrow, those clouds are going to be clearing out again. Tonight, we're going to be sitting at 53 in Tallahassee. It's going to be 68 in Tampa, and it's going to get warmer as we go down to South Florida. So in Tallahassee, it's not as cool as we've been seeing. I'm personally happy about those not being cooler temperatures, but again, temperatures are going to be warming. And again, for tomorrow, we're going to be sitting at 87 in Tallahassee. It's going to be 87 in Tampa, 86 down in Miami. Now, South Florida, they're going to be expecting some rain for tomorrow. So if you're in South Florida, just be ready for the rain. But for us up in Tallahassee and up in Jacksonville, we're going to be seeing that sun. It's going to be a day much like today where there's very little cloud cover. Sun is going to be out and it's going to be prevalent. And now current temperatures around the water, it's 82 in the Gulf of Mexico roughly. So our water temperature is warm. And now, Braden, what does that mean with all these warm water temperatures?
Well, you know, Melanie, we want to look at those sea surface temperatures because that is really what is the driving force of those tropical storms and hurricanes. So let's go ahead and bring it in to your tropical update. So let's check out the names that we've had so far. Obviously, we've talked about this before, but let's remind you, because we haven't had a storm in a while. Arthur, a Category 2 hurricane. Bertha, Category 1. Cristobal, also a Category 1. Dolly, just a tropical storm. And Edward, our only and first major hurricane of the season, at a Category 3. And those sea surface temperatures really bring about the formation of these tropical cyclones. So your hurricane climatology for October. The Cape Verde storms, you're not going to see many of those in September. We passed the peak of hurricane season. Temperatures out here are starting to cool down, and that Saharan sand, all that desert, really getting up into the air and inhibiting the development of those storms. So we really need to keep our eye in the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, where we just saw those warm sea surface temperatures. However, they are looking pretty good right now. Even though we have the warm temperatures, we're still looking at some inhibiting factors, some strong wind shear, really limiting the tropical cyclone development, and really just an overall lack of moisture, which we don't usually see. So we are looking at a pretty inactive hurricane season. However, we'd like to remind you, it only takes one. 2004 was a pretty inactive hurricane season, but when you have 4 landfalls in Florida, we really can see what happens, especially in Tallahassee. We get a lot of flooding. So let's make sure you think about that. But as you're traveling through the tri-state over the next couple of days, the temperature change, we've been talking about this warming trend that we're going to start having, and you can see it's kind of already started. Not too much in Tallahassee, but if you look north into Macon, Albany, 5 or 6 degrees warmer than it was this time yesterday, which is showing that warming trend really starting to take hold on the southeast with that cold front, not necessarily getting too far down. So we are looking pretty nice. That warming trend is hopefully going to continue. 73 out in Tallahassee, a couple clouds out there. Valdosta at 76, Macon, you're also sitting at 76. Dothan, Alabama, 80 degrees. So they are still hitting those 80s. Hopefully you will be out of it soon. Dew points, 40s, upper 40s, pretty dry, showing that it's pretty dry in the atmosphere. But as you get further west, closer to that cold front, Meridian with a 58-degree dew point, and their temperatures are also in the 70s, so they are more moist than we are as that cold front. So you need to dip further south, so they might get a little rain tonight. They do want to be careful for that. Satellite and radar looking at those clouds from the Gulf of Mexico moving in with that onshore flow. Again, not going to cause any rain, which is wonderful because we don't want to see any of that. Airport delays in the tri-state area. If you're traveling from Tallahassee to Tampa, you know, that's a short flight. I would probably drive, but you're going to be fine if you want to fly. Pretty much everywhere else, looking good with the airport. So here's our temperatures over the next couple of days as I put this into motion. This is 7 o'clock tonight, so about half an hour after the show. Low 70s, maybe a couple high 60s somewhere. So let's go to tomorrow morning. What are we going to be looking at? 55 is what Adonis is calling for. I'm calling for a little cooler than that, probably 53 or 52. But as we go into Wednesday, warming up again into the upper 80s and lower into mid 80s, then the next night cooling down to only the mid 60s this time, which is going to be beautiful. And then Wednesday afternoon, getting back up into those mid 80s. So let's bring it back to Rebecca and Shane for some more stories.
Thanks, Braden. Well, playing off of the tropical information you brought us, we do have an active system to tell you about. It's not in the Atlantic, it's in the Eastern Pacific, going by the name of...
Simon.
Yes. Simon is currently only a tropical storm, but its path is the kind of most important aspect of it right now.
Exactly. It is moving northeast towards Baja California, and as you know, they've been getting hit constantly this season.
Yes, they got several hurricanes headed their way, and it wasn't so much the wind, it was the rain that the southwestern U.S., I mean to say, effect got from, including Odile most recently, and it was really shocking how much rain they got, and they really don't need any more.
Exactly, and unfortunately they're going to end up getting some because that storm is tracking right towards there and is going to impact the southwest United States.
Yes, but now it's time to bring it back home one last time, and Becca's going to give us a tour of the local.
That's right, Shane. Look at those weather headlines. Beautiful. I love the sunny skies. I hope you guys do as well. Those temperatures are going to slowly increase as we see that coming out. And big bubble, no trouble, definitely that high pressure system that we've been talking about. Current conditions, 73 degrees, mostly cloudy. Look at that dew point, 49. Humidity only at 43%. That's not too bad. Current temperatures right here, Looking pretty uniformed here in the 70s. Tallahassee hitting 73, closer to the coast. St. Mark's here at 76. Thomasville at 77. Satellite and radar, that big bubble of high pressure that we were talking about, still over our area. As you see closer to the central part of the country, especially like Kentucky, which is actually further east, is getting those severe storms associated with a cold front. The big picture, you see that high pressure system currently over our area, bringing in those warm onshore flows with that cute little sun right there. And as that moves eastward, the cold front moves right in, not quite to us, but we're going to see that warming trend throughout the rest of the week. And as that cold front continues to move, still not going to hit us. We're going to be missing that cold air. We're going to be hitting those dry, warm temperatures. So say goodbye to the cold for a little bit that we've been experiencing. It's going to be gone for a little bit. Beach forecast, good day to go to the beach, not if you want to surf. Surf is less than or almost 1 foot. Perfect for me. I don't like waves. Just go in there, hang out. UV index 11 extreme. I personally got burned at the game on Saturday. I recommend sunscreen. It is not fun getting burned. On the water, still not a very dangerous day. Light chop, good day to go out for boating. The waves less than or equal to 1 foot. Winds not too heavy. Perfect day. Tonight's forecast, we're going to see 52 degrees here in Tallahassee. Pretty much low 50s all around the region. 49 in Bainbridge, and in Valdosta, you're going to be hitting 48. Now, planning your day, layers. Layers, definitely layers, because when you walk out the door, it is going to be 54 degrees, not like what we experienced today or Sunday, but still cold. You're still going to want that jacket. By lunch, 77. I still wear a jacket because I get cold really easily, but it's going to be good to go ahead and take off that jacket and have a short sleeve shirt, long sleeve shirt underneath it. Sunset, really warm. You're not going to need any of those layers that we were talking about. The week ahead, looking at that, the 7-day forecast is pretty much on autopilot. We're going to be having the upper 80s throughout the rest of the week. And then on Monday, we sink down a little bit to 85. Not too much. The lows, like lower 60s. And then tonight, we're going to have one more cold night of 52 degrees. That's so nice, Shane.
Yes, I know. I don't know about everyone else, but personally, I'm going to miss these cooler days when we get back up into the upper 80s tomorrow.
Me too. I love wearing sweatshirts. I love my jeans. Oh, it makes me feel so comfortable.
Oh yeah, the brisk weather of fall is kind of irresistible, and after months and months of muggy, hot, sweaty afternoons, just ready to be done with it and call it a good solid fall weather of chilly temperatures.
Exactly, especially with Halloween coming right around the corner. You got to be able to dress up.
Yes, and bring out your pumpkins. And speaking of pumpkins, the Havana Pumpkin Festival is this weekend.
It is. I'm so excited. It's on Saturday at 8 a.m. They have a pancake breakfast, but it is all day. And admission, if you are under 18, is $1. Only $1. And if you're over 18, it's $2. So not too much more for an adult.
Oh, not bad at all. It looks like the high is going to be 88 degrees on Saturday for that event. And we're looking at similar conditions across the whole southeast for the next week.
Exactly. Autopilot again, just constantly in the upper 80s.
Yes. Now, if you liked our show tonight or you're fans of FSU Weather, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us for frequent updates on twitter.com, and watch us anytime at livestream.com/FSU Weather, where you can see our live show 5 nights a week, or you can watch any of our archived shows that are in the queue on there. Yes. As for this evening, I'm student meteorologist Shane Pendleton.
And I'm student meteorologist Rebecca Bennett.
Have a great evening, and as always, go Noles.